Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of Getting Personal with Web3 Founders. I'm Jack, your host, and I'm here today with Daniel, aka Amarok, co-founder of Hashroom, which can be considered the umbrella for Hashroom and Shroomies, as many of you know. I have a series of questions, some more personal than others. Are you ready to dive in with me today?
Let's do it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All
I've been
right.
looking forward to this.
Absolute pleasure. Let's have some fun, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's start with the name Amarok. Like where does that come from? What's the origin of that name or nickname?
Man, I think I have to take it back to a little bit of like gaming. Like I come from a game since I was like little, so I always like those little different kind of names and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of like the wolf, animal and stuff. So it's like, all right, well, it's time to slay it. So King Amarok actually means like slayer of wolf. So
Okay.
basically I saw it as like a way to not only slay my, because wolves are technically always like alone. I kind of saw like a team was needed for a lot of the goals that I wanted. So it's like better to slay a wolf and then kind of make it more of a team instead. So that's yeah, like a pack of wolves. So it kind of started going from there. So we started kind of building our pack.
So it comes from your gaming days. Is it the same name you used when you were a gamer as well?
A little bit sometimes, just a little bit mixed in different, like you'll add the X's and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So
And
yeah, yeah.
do you still game? What do you game?
Yeah,
Do you have
man.
fun
I'll
playing
game
that
from time to
game?
time. I like Apex. I'm a first-person shooter kind of style. I go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bungie, and that's the old OG team. So, I used to play Halo 3 and Halo 2 religiously. So it's where it's at. Apex and Call of Duty from time to time, but more because of friends. But yeah, Apex is where I kind of stick with.
Nice. All right. And who were you before Web3? Like before Astrolabs, before you even found out about crypto and the world of blockchain and this whole new universe that we're all exploring together. Who was Amarok or Daniel? Who were you?
Man, I guess that question is like a lot, right? So it's like I started back in I guess I used to have like a Web3 marketing agency. I've had like a party bus company. During COVID, I was like doing a lot of OTC deals with like for gowns and like gloves and masks and stuff like that. So honestly, it's just I think as a person that was driven to like entrepreneurship and stuff like that. But before that, I mean, I was in the oil and gas industry, so we would go out and rig, and I was working the oil field. So it
You
has a lot of
were-
things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've worked in the rigs since I was like a freshman in college. I went to Sam Houston, graduated with a criminal justice degree, but I've never did anything with that just because the money in the oil was just better. So, yeah, man, it's a long question, but that's a summary of it.
we'll have to see one of those rig photos one day, a flashback of the past.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll have to post it sometime, man. I got quite a bit. I think total I've worked in the oil for about 8 years, to be honest. Since I was like 18 all the way to 26, and in between there, I was doing a lot of little business here and there, trying to figure out the whole world of business.
Nice. So wheeler dealer.
Yeah.
Always. And you mentioned about well, what you did during COVID. It sounds like you're really good at responding to the circumstances as well, right? And delivering a solution or whatever's needed in that given moment and
Yeah, no,
leveraging.
I've been lucky enough to tie myself to a lot of like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So during the whole COVID time, people were like posting like they needed deals. We saw the whole environment switch, like and I was able to connect with quite a bit of good friends that like they either sold masks, especially because they were like friends with 3M. So we just kind of did a lot of OTC deals through there. That was phenomenal because it kind of besides the money, it was really nice to see kind of like bring what was needed here during the states and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah, it's you had to kind of pivot, got to stay on the toes. So it was something that we definitely that I definitely love to kind of jump in. I learned a lot about from litigation to like how to make good deals happen and stuff like that. Um,
Uh-huh.
so it was a good teaching route. That's what I would say.
For sure. And when was the opening moment for you of crypto? Like how did you come across the world of blockchain? How were you introduced to it? What was your first kind of experience?
Yeah, no, I learned back in I would say about 2016. I had graduated from criminal justice. I was just done with college and stuff like that. What happened is that I decided to go back to UTSA here in San Antonio for a chemical engineer. I had to take the basics and stuff like that. And during that semester of taking the basics for the new career I was thinking of doing, which is the oil rig and doing the whole
Mhm.
thing, um, I started kind of really learning on financial literature a lot more than, I started reading a lot of books about it. And in there, I kind of learned trading. And from trading, it's kind of just happened to pique my interest where, like, I learned about Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin started happening, I was like, there's something here. I don't know what it was. And it didn't really correlate until, towards the end of 2017, when I started actually learning a lot more and trading like crypto coins and stuff like that. And that's when like the big uh boom happened. And XRP was one of the big coins that was in. Not financial advice, and I'm not in an XRP, just kind of putting it out there. But it was something that definitely was like, whoa, what is this? And I learned a lot. I was able to take a little bit of wins there. But it kind of piqued me. I was like, there's something there. Obviously, it crashed and everything. But I didn't stop kind of learning about blockchain technology and what it really could do. So from there, years kind of happened, COVID happened, all that. And then back in 2021, when the whole NFT started happening, that's when I really understood what a non-fungible token can be.
Mhm.
Obviously, it started with art, it started with one of ones and all this stuff. But I kind of saw the underlying thing, what it could be in the future. So that's when I really started going in. And that's when I kind of just called Niels. I knew him as a friend already. We had worked on a marketing agency before. And
Okay.
I was like, hey, there's something here. Help me build, like, figure out what a smart contract is, right? So we really started, like in the NFT side. We already knew what a smart contract was in the coin token side, but we were
Yeah.
like, there's something here, let's do it. And then so I put a team together. We had an artist in house. We had Niels, and then we brought another guy. But yeah, we just started doing smart contracts for other people. Um, it was kind of really fun just because the whole NFT boom was happening, art everywhere. So we were just developing, I guess, the whole tech side of things for a lot of artists. And yeah, so that's where like the whole, I guess, crypto kind of started from.
Again, I just see you again responding to the circumstances, right? You see these
Yeah,
NFTs, you're like, there's something to these, and you're like, people need smart contracts. Let's study that. Let's offer it, right? A bit like you did
right.
with COVID during that time. It's
Yeah,
fascinating to see to correlate, right? And see the trajectory. Um,
and it
so
doesn't. Sorry, yeah,
go ahead.
It doesn't feel like in that moment what how you see it, but like looking
Uh,
back at it, you're like, okay, it makes sense how it kind of just added together.
Yeah, yeah. So you and Neil go back then, like quite a few years as friends as well.
Yeah, man, the story of how we met was pretty funny.
Go for it.
Obviously he's from Sweden, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I'm in the States, and he was running a $1 ad um, for like building websites. And at that time, I was like, with the whole marketing agency, we were helping clients like build websites, and we
Hmm.
needed more people. So we had like three people building websites, and at that time we were like, we need more people. And we just happened to see his ad, and we clicked on it. We reached out to him. I was like, yo, can you build a website? And he showed us his portfolio, and we were like, all right, man, let's build a couple of them. So that's how we started. And this was like, I think 3.5 years before, like, or I think 3 years before we actually kind of jumped into business together.
Amazing. So then came Astrolabs, right? Was
Right.
the smart contracts were the first? That was the beginning of Astrolabs.
Yeah, we started with just smart contracts for NFTs. That's what we only started, and then we quickly jumped into our generation. We went to D apps.
Yeah.
We built a couple DAOs for a couple people. Um, Obviously, the website on that was already kind of a given, but yeah, it started with just smart contracts, and then we slowly progressed into actually software development, which is just like the bigger picture, but just more catered to Web3.
Yeah. Nice. let's pivot like on the topic of Web3, but to you and your family or friends. How would you describe what you do now to them? Like someone in your family who has no clue what Web3 is, what these NFTs are. How do you explain it to them? Have you found a way to make them understand or to share what you're up to with them?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, my mom just thinks it's like a scam. Obviously,
Still,
yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, even after, right? It's like she was like,
so
"Well, that's fake." She was like, "That's fake money. Have you pulled it out?" And I was like, "I mean, I pulled out a couple, but I believe in crypto. Obviously, I take profits as I go, but it's always
uh-huh,
reinvestment into it." But she was like, "Stop putting money in there and stuff." I mean, she's proud of it for sure. As but yeah, it's hard to describe it to her, right? It's
uh,
different tech, but the best way to do it is just like look at money. Like everything has progressed in the world except money, right? The phone used to be a little line where you used to just pick up the phone. Instead of sending letters, is an email. Everything has gone digital except for money in the entire history of the world so far. So it's like that's the next step before we can really go into a digital era and stuff like that. So I mean, that's kind of the best way to do it. NFTs is a little bit too much for her, so I don't even try to bother. She's like, oh, pretty cartoons, you know. So it's like, what can I say? My brother is starting to understand it a lot more. So it's like he's definitely like seeing it a lot. He's a lawyer in Houston, so it's like for him, he's more like, is it legal? Is it not illegal? And I was like, it's hard to kind of say that too. Regulations are kind of being built,
yeah,
and as far as friends, I think a lot of my friends are Web3. A lot of them are also kind of Web2, but they're entrepreneurs, so they kind of see the value of crypto itself. So it's kind of easier to kind of explain on that end. But yeah, no, it's some people just don't want to hear anything about it, especially because of the news and everything around it. So it's like I understand, which I just give it time a bit for people to kind of adjust and adoption. One thing I've kind of noticed is like I love hopping on things a little too early. So
hmm,
sometimes it's kind of like I gotta wait a bit and be patient for people to really see the bigger picture of it.
gotcha. Yeah. So when it comes down to like explaining to your brother or your mum that you got these shroomies and you got the Hashroom platform and you don't go into details, right? It's just like, mum, I'm just running a business.
Yeah, we're building software. That's all I tell her.
Okay,
It's
cool.
like we're building a software platform. That's all. It's best to just keep it that way sometimes.
Yeah, totally, totally. Nice. So now like back to you on a personal level, what does a typical morning routine look like for you?
Oh man, that's. So right now it's kind of difficult because for the past like 2 months I've been just going in and out
Hmm.
out of Texas. But normally, what a normal is like, let's say I'll wake up maybe around 8:30. I do try to like get some workout in, even if it's just like going for a jog or something to clear the mind. I don't typically eat all the way until like maybe at 1 p.m. Because before then I'd rather just kind of hop on and like answer emails or like take care of like whatever little perks, the small things actually. And around once I eat around 12 or 1, after that, that's when I usually take most of the meetings from like 1 all the way to like 5 p.m. And then honestly from there it's either I jump in to like kind of really correlate what's gonna happen for like the most pieces, like as far as the client stuff, because we just got done with talking with all the clients or stuff like that, or like talking about Hashroom or Shroomies. So around 5 is when we usually have a team call from like 5 to 6, and then we kind of just work on the rest of it. To be honest, it's kind of hard because it's just I'm running quite a few little things here and there. So it's like whatever's from 5 to 9 is my personal time of like fixing and doing all the little things. And then after that, man, I try to call it. I usually don't, but around 10, I just hop on and with my wife, I go and watch a movie or something like that. And I'll
And
stay up maybe till like 1.
uh-huh. And is that 5 days a week, six, seven? What are we looking at here?
No, it used to be worse, right? It used to be a lot worse where I'm just like, I gotta grind every day, every day, every day. I'm trying to be a lot easier on myself nowadays, where it's like Saturday and Sunday. I do try to like at least ease off and just do like half days, where it's like I'll at least respond to email, but like I'll try to like call it by like 3 p.m. or something like that. Um,
Nice.
and then if I have to go somewhere, then I go and enjoy myself. But
Nice. That's good to hear. So it's
yeah.
important, right? Especially if you're playing the long game, and you gotta keep in mind that there's other people in your life.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing, right? It's like I love I love doing this, right? I love working, and I actually do enjoy it so much. But it's like finding that balance of also kind of like keeping the social circle and like talking. Luckily I have a lot of buddies that just like business, so it's like it's easy to just go and talk and try to create something new. Um, but really, realistically, it's like the people I love and like my loved ones, they just want to spend time with me, right? So it's like I just kind of have to calm down. And like you said, the long game is important. So it's like you can burn yourself out really quick. And I've done that before where it's like, oof, you burn out and it's like you don't want to do anything for 3 months, right? And then that really kind of just hinders you because in those 3 months, you're not doing anything. So it's like I've learned here and there, you can't always be there. So it's like you got to kind of set yourself up to like be able
Mhm.
to last like years, especially if you want to be here for a while.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. Back to Astrolabs, but more importantly, Hashroom and Shroomies. Like,
Yeah.
why Hashroom? Why Shroomies? I've got here in brackets, like, because the way I see it, even though they're separate, it's a genius combo, right? These Shroomies, this Hashroom platform. How did it come about? How did it come together? Tell us the story.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely like a good combo, right? One thing we wanted to do with this is we wanted to kind of utilize the power of NFTs and actually give something like different than it's just like art. Nothing to it. I love art myself and stuff like that, but it's like I wanted to actually try to use it like a subscription model.
Hmm.
um Obviously, with one streaming you can become a lender and stuff like that, given those perks and kind of just showing like the world, like I guess what you can do with NFTs, right? Obviously we could open up the platform and like anybody do it, but it's like we wanted like something exclusive, like an exclusive group to be able to like do things with. So that's why it kind of came about. But as far as Hashroom, I guess it kind of goes back to like our previous, like earlier conversation, where it's like I seen it in Solana, I seen it on Ethereum, and it just makes sense, and it brings so much value to the ecosystem. And Hedera is something that I really believe in, so it's like I wanted to actually bring something useful to it, that people could probably use, and it could also help. So it's like we just jumped in it because nobody had done it, right? Not the way that we envision, at least. We had seen differently, but it's like the project itself is the one's lending, and for us we don't even lend at all. It's like we provide the platform, so it works out. So it's like we just kind of wanted to do it early and try to see if we could actually make a difference in Hedera.
Nice. Yeah, I think the peer-to-peer feature aspect is really key, right? When we're talking about Web3 and the decentralized nature that we want to bring about, and that sovereignty, right? That self-custody and
Right.
peer-to-peer. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
nice.
it's giving power back to you, right? So it's like the whole full point of it. That's why at least crypto got my attention, because I was like, oh, it actually gives you like your own control of it. So
Hmm.
hopefully, people enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, which has been your biggest challenge so far at Astrolabs or Hashroom or Shroomies, like, or anything that you've done within Astrolabs? Like, what's been your biggest challenge so far on a personal level?
I think the unknown of crypto, right? Well, first of all, like Astrolabs wise, obviously, I think just like everyone, we took a big hit during the whole bear market, when everything was so bullish and all of a sudden it kind of halted.
Mm,
Is learning how to pivot to make sure that I think a lot of companies went from like thriving to really trying to survive, which obviously with everyone it's like that's what affected us too. So it's like we had to kind of come up with a solution of what to do from it. That's why like a software development became a big thing, because we could not only pick up Web3 clients but pick up Web2 clients and then kind of slowly teach them about Web3 to kind of prep them up to like transfer over, right?
uh-huh.
So it's like that was a big challenge, just like figuring out what was the next move after that whole crash happened. As far as Astrolabs itself, um, Hashroom itself, I mean, I think it's been successful. I think Hedera's like just documentation was the hardest for us, especially because we were building something that nobody had built like the way that we saw it in Hedera. That was,
Yeah.
I know, a big challenge for like Niels itself and stuff like that, which I mean he overcame pretty amazingly. So yeah, I think that's a big challenge as far as the project. For myself, is just being informed so much about like what can happen and what cannot happen, and just learning a lot about the overall, not only the tech, but like the laws around it and stuff like that.
Yeah, navigating that unknown, right, as a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because it's like we're at the forefront. I really do feel like, like Kabila itself, I think like, they're at the forefront of creating a lot of stuff for Hedera. So it's like figuring out those little perks that you can't just go and research.
Yeah. Yeah. We can relate for sure.
Yeah.
Back to you on a personal level. Tell me about the most inspiring and influential person in your life and how they impacted you.
Ah, man, that's a good question. I would definitely have to say my brother, right? He's my older brother by a year and a half, but I think obviously we came from Mexico, and I'm not sure if you knew that, but we came here almost with nothing, so it's like whenever um, I just remember like overcoming and like perseverance and like really like fighting through.
Mm.
He's always been at the forefront of like, I guess, our siblings, because it's my sister, my little sister, and myself and him. So it's like I think that really had to inspire me, just because like if obviously he didn't know, even like going to college, right? It's not something that we knew, like being not from America, is like learning how to do it. So it's like learning how to do these things that sometimes might be so easy for other people. I saw him just persevering through all those stuff, like learning about it, figuring it out, and he kind of paved the way for me in a sense. So yeah, I really think I got to give a shout out to him. So it's like he's really pushed me to like become a better man too. It's like not only in the like, I guess, educational side of things, but it's also like on being a gentleman. I really do see him as a gentleman. He always loves gin and tonics and stuff like that. Just he'll sit down and just have one or two and talk to you about like personal world, like life situations and stuff like that. And I really look up to him a lot. So it's I really do think he's been one of the most influential persons in me.
Nice. I can definitely relate that gin and tonic, that brother to brother conversation. I
Yeah.
actually have a brother, he's 2.5 years younger, but like we're very on par when it comes, we can sit down at a table, have a gin and tonic or a beer and just really
Yeah.
talk about life. And it's so crucial, isn't it? Having a person in your life that you can just open up and talk about, anything that's going on or
Yeah.
without.
It's something that it's something that really shaped me as a person, right? Like it's just that connection just is very strong between me and him, and I know that no matter if I mess up or anything, I can always come to someone and talk about it, and he'll be there. I
Mm,
think he's one of the persons besides my mother that has shown me true like love, and that really kind of builds that I guess confidence behind me, because I know someone is always behind me.
nice. Well, shout out to your brother.
Yeah, shout out to him for sure, man.
All right, let's look into the future. Where would you like to see Shroomies slash Hashroom in 5 years?
Ooh, 5 years. Obviously, still the number one lending platform in Hedera, right? I really can see it taking it not only with NFTs, but I really we want to like move on to like tokens itself. I really think Hashroom can become like much more than just NFTs. We
Okay.
want to make it overall like tons of ways to like be able to collateralize different things. um, I definitely want to see it above like making about 10 million HBAR in a month in volume, which I think is possible, right? I think this month alone we're already at 900,000, so it's like I really can see us progress to where like a lot of the volume in Hedera just moves through there. So yeah, as far as Hashroom, obviously we want to see it decentralized, where like anyone can just submit their collection at that point, and it's just more stable and stuff like that.
Uh,
um, we definitely want it to like help all the founders as much as we can, right? And as far as Shroomies, man, I want to say it's already a blue chip, but I think I'm a little too early for that. But I definitely want to see it be known throughout the entire ecosystem. And I really want to at least have like those. I know the only max is like 125 max lenders at 20%, but I would really like it to be at least 100 lenders, um, a group of solid members that just really rep it and really benefit from it and stuff like that. I definitely want to host a couple events down the line. I think that that'll be very possible with the way we're going.
Uh-huh.
To actually meet more like members of the entire Hedera ecosystem. So it's like, yeah, I see it. I see it definitely growing. Definitely with King Shroomies out and stuff, we got a lot of perks coming. So it's like, I definitely just want to see it succeed and still around. To be honest, if we're around in 5 years, especially Shroomies, I think we really succeeded. In my vision at least. I think a lot of NFTs, they'll die after like a year or two, or
Mhm.
even less. So it's like, as long as we're around and relevant, I think that we'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, for sure. It actually ties into a question from Rog. He asked how much HBAR volume per day does Amarok is Amarok's personal goal for Hashroom. So you just said was it on a monthly? Is it 10 million? You
Yeah,
said
yeah. 10 million, 5 years from now. I mean,
5 years from
I
now.
hope. Yeah. I hope like by next year we hit 2 million a month for sure.
Yeah.
Which that looks like is gonna happen. I'm just projecting, obviously.
Hmm.
But just because like, to give you an example, when we launched in mid-July, um, all the way to the end of September, we basically hit 1 million HBAR, and in October alone, we hit 900,000 HBAR. So it's like you almost doubled just because of the user growth, right?
Yeah.
And the more collections we add, the more users will kind of hop on Hashroom and stuff, and so on. And I think I'll just like do a compounding effect and stuff like that. So I definitely see it possible. 2 million is the next milestone that we have. Like 2 million a month, because we know that we're gonna hit that 1 million a month by probably hopefully December.
Yeah. Compounding is the key word, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, man. Those users, we're grateful for them. So it's like, we're actually just grateful that people are using the platform, right? We
Yeah.
didn't know if it was a little too early to build it or not, but we're kind of happy to see that it is paying off and people are actually like using it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the current market, right? It's really awesome to see it growing the way it is.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's like, if we can thrive through the bear market, I can only imagine how much we can kind of grow in the bull market. So
Absolutely. He's also asked uh how much how much floor price per shroomy is your personal goal?
Oh man, I don't. I try to steer away from that question, right? Because people might take it perceived. Um, but I definitely see it higher than it is now, right? Just because I think, because of the amount there is, and then how many you need to actually become a lender, I definitely see it grow a lot more. To me, I think that this is where we're at right now. Is pretty still undervalued. At least with the stuff that I know that we're gonna bring and stuff. Not, I don't know. It can always go lower, and people can still utilize the platform. So I'm not really sure, man. I hate to like say a number on that.
Fair
I
enough,
don't
fair
want to
enough.
jinx myself. I don't want to jinx myself.
You talked about what's coming. Is there anything what are you most excited about? Is there anything you can share with us here today?
Regarding streamings of the platform.
Anything?
Um, I mean, obviously, like, I think you're aware the multi offers. I'm really excited to see that. Right. I personally already have about 3 friends that are excited because I've been bringing kind of like friends. So it's like, I really think that we're gonna see an explosion on like the amount of HBAR available in the platform once those happen, because people are just, they don't want to go through one by one by one. I
Sure.
really am excited to see that, just because I want to see the volume of how much he adds. Like, I
Uh,
know it'll be like just one person alone is bringing about 100K HBAR into it. So it's like, I'm excited for that, right? Shroomies, I'm excited for the King Shroomies coming November. I think it's like November 17th to 24th. I think that's gonna be super massive. At least for the art, I'm a big fan of like Vipa's art, and I know he's been working a lot on them. So it's like, super excited, and I'm excited to like for the raffle system we're building. We're gonna be basically building a raffle system integrating into a Hashroom,
okay.
uh, where it's basically gonna, people can just come in and enter with their sports token. he won't automatically be with sports token, but we can at least set it up where like people can enter it based on their like the amount of shroomies they have and stuff like that. So that's coming hopefully by the end of the year. But yeah, man, it's little extra things. I'm excited for the merch. I think I don't know if you signed up for it, but yeah, I
I'm
think people are
getting
gonna enjoy it. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's
But
nice to
yeah,
have something physical, isn't it? That ties you
yeah,
to projects that you're part of and communities that you're a part of.
yeah, exactly. And I ordered a couple of different things that I'm testing to make sure that it's good quality.
Hmm.
So he's like, I got a lot more stuff for the King Shroomies at least. We're building the merch store for the Shroomies itself, and based on how many Shroomies you'll have like a certain discount, which is only gonna be for Shroomy holders, which I think I'm excited for that. Obviously, I think a lot of people know that for a project to really stay like growing, you do need like secondary like revenue and third revenue. And for us, we won't ever mint more shroomies, so we have to kind of find different ways to kind of keep supporting the project itself. Luckily, I mean, we still have the 50% locked away from the mint that we're just kind of waiting for the bull run. So whenever Hedera blows up, which we believe it will, we'll have like our treasury there just ready to have firepower for it too. So
Nice. So
yeah, yeah.
the merch that the pre-sale token holders are getting is just a taster of what's to come.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we got a lot more. Because I gotta like mess with the logistics and stuff. I gotta see where everyone is, the actual true expense of like how much I have to like pay to it. So it's like a smaller scale of what we want. But
Mhm.
I'd rather kind of go. Obviously, with the bear market, we're kind of going slowly instead of just like spending it all right now. And that I know we'll regret it if we do. So yeah. We got plans for sure.
Nice. Let's take a trip to the kitchen for a second. What is your favorite meal? Do you like to cook yourself?
Okay, if I cook myself, I need someone to do the sides, right? I can do like the main entree, but
Uh-huh.
I can't. I don't like focusing on like the sides and everything like that. So it's like if I need to grill some steaks, I'll grill you some good steaks. But I won't cook you anything else, right? I won't do mashed potatoes or whatever, French fries, whatever. So it's like I will cook, but it's just that one dish. That's why my wife is so good at side dishes.
You're a great
Like
team.
yeah, for sure. She's great cook. She can cook for sure. But as far as like I like to go, like honestly I like eating out. It's just more convenient for me. It's just kind of quicker sometimes.
Hmm.
Um but I'm a big fan of like Asian food, Mediterranean food. I'll really, Mexican tacos for sure. I mean, I love Mexican food for sure. But ramen's a big thing for me.
Nice.
Overall Asian food, I'm a big fan of. I would say that, like Korean barbecue. Um, but if I have to pick, like dishes, definitely tacos or sushi. One of those two.
Nice. Yeah, I love Asian food myself as well. It's definitely a win.
I love spicy food, man. Anything with spice.
All right. So I always like to ask at the end if what's one question you wish I'd asked and how would you have answered it if there is one?
Oh, man, you're great. I think you really got some good questions. If you had to, oh man, I wouldn't have a question, right?
That's
I
perfect.
would say, yeah, I would say, yeah, you asked everything. Yeah, you asked almost all the great questions, man.
Nice. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Daniel, getting to know you a little bit more. I hope that the community enjoys getting personal with you. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure, and great. I love the spaces that you're doing. So, keep going for sure.